Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of that show that will not be named. I am your host Brian, or 2Game Prince, whatever you prefer, and today I would like to bring attention to a little anime that I watched a while back. It was absolutely incredible. The concept was amazing, and I would just like to bring light to it, just in case I made a video. I might have made a video on it in the past, but just in case the video wasn't as elaborated enough, I just like to bring more attention to it. That anime in question is Pet Shop of Horrors. Now, Pet Shop of Horrors is about this guy. His name is Count D. Maybe D is the other way. Count D. Just D. That's it. Or the Count, as he is so commonly referred to throughout the series. That series being a whole 4 episodes, I believe. Series only lasted 4 episodes. It was an adaptation of a few chapters from the first manga. And basically, the Pet Shop of Horrors is about these people who go to, I believe it's Los Angeles? Somewhere in California. Los Angeles or whatever. Chinatown. The Chinatown there. There's a shop, like when you go into it, it ends up being freaking huge. It's the pet shop of Count D. And D is like, I guess he's supernatural. They don't explain in the show what he is. All you really get hints of here and there that he's been around for a very long time. He's assumes some kind of supernatural entity. There's jokes in the manga mentioning that, like, oh, maybe he's a vampire. But he's not. But he is definitely, he's very old. And basically he sells animals to people, but these aren't normal animals. They're like chimeras and tigers, like pictures of tigers where the tiger comes out of the picture, mermaids, cockatrices, rocks, chupacabras, shit like that, phoenixes. He doesn't sell normal animals, and if they are a normal animal, there's something sinister about them. And he runs a pet shop in which people come to him, usually people that are bad or that have done something. And these people, he sells the animal to them, and then he gives them like a few rules. One of the rules is you can never reveal the existence of the animal that I sold you to anyone. Otherwise, you breach a contract. And basically, if you breach a contract with him, or if you break one of the rules concerning one of the animals, or you tell anyone that you got the pet there, or whatever, you're in breach of contract, and 9 times out of 10, in some kind of way, the animal kills you. Making it a horror series. But there are cases where, you don't break it, you play ball, and the creature doesn't kill you. It's, it's half and half. But the bulk of the series, the manga at least, focuses on, I forget his name, but it's one of the guys from the LAPD or something. One of the cops, or not a private detective, one of the detectives from the city. And he is trying to prove that Count D is guilty. Because he knows, it's like, everyone who ends up dying here and there is somehow associated with this pet shop, who got a pet here at some point. And he just believes that Count D is running like a drug operation or a gang raid. He doesn't know that it's anything supernatural. And honestly, I really wish they would have gone farther with this series. Like I said, they only adapted like 4 chapters from the manga, and they could have gotten so much farther with it. But apparently it just didn't do that good. They just didn't do much with it. The 4th episode was a super jump. Like, the first 3 episodes dealt with, not small-time people, but smaller situations. The 4th episode of Pet Shop of Horrors tackled shit on like a national scale. Like, it was people were nationally affected by the animal that came out of his shop during the 4th episode in a sale. But absolutely incredible series. I know there's certain things that aren't tackled in it, like and this next part is for people who have seen the series. So my actual review of my beginning non-spoiler review of it ends there, and then for those of you who've seen the series, watch from this point on. For those of you who have read the manga, you will know that at least in my opinion, a lot of things aren't explained, such as D being, basically, whenever D, you know how when D, whatever the detective or whatever comes in and asks D, it's like, oh, you in charge of this establishment? And he's like, oh no, my father or my grandfather's in charge of it, but he's away. I'm watching it while he's away. Basically how D is like, he kind of, I guess, reincarnates himself. Like, he is his father and his grandfather. And when he, like, if D dies, he'll become his grandfather. If his grandfather dies, he'll become his father. And if his father dies, he'll become him. And it's like a cycle. And the backstory for Count D is that he was part of a race of people that are super ancient. He's the last of a race of people that were supposed to bridge the gap between animals and humans way back in feudal China or whatever the hell. And something happened where one of the humans from one of the old Chinese or Japanese clans or whatever wanted to marry one of the members of his people's clan. And they said no dice. So as retaliation for not letting them wed, the humans attacked his race and killed all of them off, all except for D, who was the only one to survive. Since then, his whole purpose has been to, I guess if you want to say his whole purpose has been to punish humans for their greed and desire and shit like that, which is usually, and vanity, which is usually the basis for most of the people who die in the series. They go to D looking for an animal, hoping to fill some kind of void in their life, whether it's, greed, vanity, shit like that. And it's very interesting. I absolutely love the concept of the show. The person who wrote the manga actually got the idea from Gremlins, with the beginning of Gremlins, where the father goes into the shop, wants the Mogwai, and the guy originally doesn't sell it to him, but the kid does, and then takes it back home, and a whole bunch of shit breaks loose, all because the guy really wanted it. It's like he wasn't ready for the responsibility. It's that same thing, but it takes it to a whole new level. It's absolutely incredible. Pet Shop of Horrors. Definitely, I haven't seen a show like it, and I really like the music, because there was just something about, 90s anime. It's just absolutely awesome. I love the aesthetic. There was another anime. If you look up, Pet Shop of Horrors, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube right now, for free. All 4 episodes. Start to finish, incredible. If you go on and you watch it now, chances are you'll somewhat stumble upon another anime, which is some Night something. It's about this guy. I think he's a private detective, but he's also a vampire, and it's in LA in the early 90s or some shit like that. Amazing. Something about all these 90s animes, at least the ones that take place in big cities. Very interesting, just very cool. The whole aesthetic about them is just fantastic. And Pet Shop of Horrors is just one of them. If I'm really praying that this series somehow gains maybe a recent popularity and maybe comes back somehow. Really hoping for that. That'd be so cool. I'd love to see either a movie about this, because this is one of those animes where I'm 90% sure if they made a live action version of it, they could not fuck it up. You'd have to try real hard to fuck it up. Just because the story, in my opinion, is so adaptable that the only real money you'd have to spend on is, the creatures and the animals and the shit that they do. Other than that, the designs. What's very interesting about, I don't know why the word Lao keeps coming to mind. His name is not Lao, it's Count D. Count D's design, he's supposed to be what's the word? Not ambidextrous, not ambibraxtrous. It's, ambiguous? Some shit like that. Basically, when you look at him, you don't know if he's a guy or a girl. And when he talks, it's you kind of get that it's a guy, but he looks like a girl. And he's always drinking tea. He's got a sweet tooth, which is how the detective always, coerces him into giving him bits of information, because he likes the detective. And in the manga, I believe D ends up falling in love with the detective's younger brother. But in the TV show, he always goes to him with, like cakes and cookies and shit and desserts that he gets, and he's like, hey, let's sit down for tea, let's have a little, one-on-one time, and he talks to him and he gets information out of him. And Dee always says that he never lies, ever. He will always tell the truth to the detective. He will never tell him an untruth. And most of the things that he says are either misinterpreted by the detective, which is why he's unable to save certain people or certain problems go awry. And I won't spoil how the end of the manga goes, because something happens in it kind of surprising, which I wasn't really expecting. But it was still a good ending, and in my opinion, it explained something about the aspect of the character, about the whole reincarnation thing. So, I think that's going to do it for this one. I really wanted to talk about this, or at least I really wanted to re-tackle Pet Shop of Horrors, because absolutely incredible. It's not getting enough attention. It really is not. Also, check out, there was a film director or something. I'm not sure if he's still doing his thing, but there was a guy, he adapted like the last few seconds or less, or he adapted a minute or two of the Pet Shop of Horrors anime into a live action thing, where this guy gets a lizard from Count D, and it turns out to be Medusa, but he falls in love with her and she falls in love with him, and it's a whole thing. So if you're going around, you see that, check that out too. That's very interesting. So I think that's going to do it for this video, and I will see you all next time.